Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Capricorn, wherever Capricorn shows up for you in your chart. Definitely also be sure to check out your human design profile. I have all of those loaded already. But not every Capricorn is a 2-4 or 3-6 or whatever, right? So it's just an additional source of information for you. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there's a link in the description of each of those videos for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. Or you can just Google human design chart and get it. You don't have to know anything about human design in order to listen to those readings. It's just, like I said, it's an additional source of information. So I guess really all you need to know is just your profile. And eventually, maybe you would want to look into your human design a bit. There's a lot of information that you get on your body graph specific to you. So let's get you an oracle card. That's too many. And then, of course, we'll get your tarot out. We have Inner Temple. Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Beautiful. A lot of symmetry in there, too. Let's get your oracle card, or your tarot cards out. How many is this? Is that 6 cards? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Oh my gosh. And we have the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we have the Death card. We have the 6 of Wands. We have the King of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, and the Fool card. The Moon is behind the Sun, which is kind of interesting. We do have a full moon coming up in Scorpio, which is a Death card, next week, I believe on the 24th. So that could mean something. Let's see, Inner Temple. All right, so it says, you are being called to be a devoted student and tune into your heart, to incorporate true devotion into your life. You could be being called to develop a regular meditation, journaling, or chanting practice, or to show up to your soul with rhythm, to develop a daily practice where you fill up your well and spend time with your soul. All of the answers to all of your questions that you are seeking are waiting for you in the portal of your heart, but you cannot hear them unless you carve out time each day to listen. Your soul is yearning for a deeper relationship with you. And so the more time you spend with it and show up to it, the more clearly it will guide you. We are here to grow as souls. Earth is one big playground for the soul to learn. And you are being called to go deeper in your soul growth, or to increase your devotion by being a student of a lineage or a spiritual teacher. If you are already being a committed student, then you are being commended for your devotion. Your guides want you to know how proud of you they are, and that the time you spend in devotion is priceless. If you are questioning your career or life path, your guides want you to know to turn your focus toward devotion and this prayer. Please use me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. May my life be one big moving prayer. Interesting, huh? I love that we start with the Death card and then we end with the Fool card. And then we have the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. So, very interesting. Okay. So we start, like I said, with the Death card. This is Scorpio. That doesn't necessarily have to mean anything to you, but it can. And like I said, we have a Scorpio full moon next week. So timing wise, I mean, maybe you're just recognizing something is changing within the next week or so. Anytime I see the Death card, I always say new beginnings disguise themselves as endings. Because truly, right, I mean, in order for something new to begin, there has to be an end to something. So I love that, the creator of this deck too, they put death and rebirth on the card because that's truly what it is. Like one thing even turning into another, like I'm thinking even caterpillars, how, they literally, they build this chrysalis, they build this cocoon to protect them and house them, while literally they turn to goo so that they can be reformed, transformed, into a butterfly. But they are no longer a caterpillar after that. Right? So that process is only possible because they went through that process, honored the nature of them too, right? That they know that's the life cycle. That could be, a behavior pattern, a thought pattern. It could be, of course, a relationship. It could be a job. I mean, we're not talking literal death here. That's not what the death card, represents. I mean, I guess it could, but that's not, And it's interesting that it's paired with the Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time and our energy. Like, where are we investing our time and our energy? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's also our physical body and our health, this, vessel that we are occupying in this lifetime. It can also be your possessions, where you live, the resources available to you, anything that you place worth and value on. And queens are when we embody the energy of the suit within ourselves. So this is definitely very individual, very independent. The Queen of Pentacles to me is like kind of Mother Henny, like, nurturing and, they're the ones that want to feed you, like for comfort, or create an environment that feels safe. I love her crown too. I love how it's made. But, they're holding on to this pentacle here, but not very tightly, so there's this confidence, this contentment, even like a surety, certainty of what this pentacle would represent. So again, it could be your sense of security. It could even be your comfort zone. I mean, it's paired with the death card. So it's almost too about like ending a streak of even hyper independence. The book was talking about really getting, connected and grounded into your soul. So if you have felt untethered, then, the Queen of Pentacles then would represent being grounded. This to me would feel tethered instead of, feeling like you are just out there floating around aimlessly. It's really finding a home, like within your being, feeling comfortable even in your own skin, finding, a way of, because again, I'm thinking all of the things pentacles wise, devoting your time to something that really speaks to your soul, since that inner temple card came out, feeling grounded in that. And then we have the Six of Wands after, which is recognition, victory, success. Wands have to do with action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like. And truly, the only way to figure those things out is by trying them. We can't really think our way through those because, like, do you know how many hobbies I've picked up because I thought I was going to love them? And some things I did love, other things I fucking hated. I wouldn't have figured those things out if I didn't try them. The Six of Wands is also it's victory after a period of conflict or contention, because obviously the Five of Wands precedes the Six of Wands. So there's something definitely that you are coming out of, or that is going to come out of the Death card and the Queen of Pentacles combination. And there is, again, this people are going to recognize the change in you. I mean, it's not like you don't necessarily have to find yourself on a stage in front of people, unless, of course, that's a goal that you have. This would be a positive omen for that. But it's even just, again, you could even recognize the change within yourself. Even recognizing how far you've come. It could be there are other people on the card, and it usually is a card where other people are celebrating you, celebrating your success, celebrating your victory. So, you could be making a decision, especially Capricorn. I feel like it's like one of those things where as soon as you make your mind up, you will stick to that shit. And whatever it is, whatever thing it is that you're deciding to stick with, you are going to see success from that. And that is paired with the Eight of Wands. So we have this succession from the Six of Wands to the Eight of Wands. I mean, we skipped the Seven of Wands, which I think is fine, of course, to do, but like we go from this recognition to things moving quickly. This is like, things coming together very fast for you. The Eight of Wands, I keep saying quickly, fast, because the Eight of Wands it's quick. It could be, unexpected communication. It could be a brand new, idea or inspiration, spark type of thing. It could even be community. I mean, like there's 8 wands here. We can maybe assume that there's 8 people attached to and it doesn't have to specifically be 8, but it is a decent size, community. It could even be, through whatever this recognition, whatever you are being successful in, it could even inspire other people to want to do the same for themselves. Like they're seeing the payoff or like the benefits that you have gotten from whatever this situation is, and they want it for themselves. So they're like, hey, teach me your ways, and especially since this Oracle card, I feel like it was, of course I was talking about like being the student, but at some point the student does graduate, from being the student to being the teacher, like from being the grasshopper. Like maybe, this is the process of going from grasshopper to mentor. I'm trying to remember like how that's like the grasshopper becomes the master. I knew it started with an M. I just couldn't, I kept thinking mentor. But, the grasshopper becomes oh my gosh, the master. And look, we have the King of Swords next. I wasn't even looking that far ahead. We have this owl here. And to me, owls represent wisdom, guidance, like they are sometimes depicted as being guardians. 2, kings are the highest expression of the suit. Swords have to do with our mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, ideas. Did I say that already? Inspiration, truth and honesty. It's divine truth and divine honesty. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by, the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, whether they're our stories or not, whether they're true or not. but it becomes the reason why we do things and why we don't do things. So with the king being the highest expression of the suit, there's a few things that have been coming through with these kings. First of all, they're leaders, right? Like they oversee a kingdom. So the people that are part of this kingdom would look to them for guidance, for leadership. With it being swords, there's a clarity of thought here. There's experience also because they've gone all the way from the ace up to the king. So there's even a handle on your ego. They're sitting on top of this mountain here. Even meditation, is coming through because it really is like getting a handle on and you getting a handle on your mental state, your thoughts, your mindset even. And meditation is a good way of doing that because a big part of meditation is observing your thoughts, right? Like, what am I thinking? And where is that even coming from? It's interesting because we have this sword back here that looks like it looks like a, to me at first, like, and for the longest time I thought it was like a power tower like, that like power lines are attached to. I thought that was what that was for the longest time until I looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's a sword. And then I started thinking of Moana. I always think of cartoons with I have like a Moana reference. I have a couple of those. I have a couple Mulan references. I have Harry Potter. Anyway, in the sense of like, this is ancestral to me. Like the sword has been up there for some time, so it could even be in council with, like ancestors, or just even old, or just ancestral knowledge in some capacity, seeking guidance from like even old teachings, which is interesting because the book was talking about being a student, right? But my Moana reference was, if you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, what? But they put, each leader or each chief puts a stone on top of this mountain, and it just represents the past, the leaders from the past, which this is a king, right? Seeking counsel from old prior teachings in some capacity. I hope you catch my drift, right? And what's interesting too is I just started getting this feeling, because if I'm going with the Moana reference, and that's the one that came up, because for a second I was even thinking of the sword and the stone thing, but I just kept thinking Moana. But at the end of the movie, when she comes back, after she, finds the heart of Te Fiti and all of that, right? She comes back and she puts a seashell on top of all of those stones that were from previous chiefs. She put a seashell up there, which, is like honoring your unique path, your knowing that you are different than your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, your great right? Like your ancestors in general. This is like allowing yourself, because even I was looking at they're wearing this bracelet here and this, I don't know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I keep wanting to say cloak, but that's not it. I mean, they have these wings on their shoulders. It feels like being initiated into a path that is, like I said, just separate from what is expected maybe of you. And I'm glad that I said that. And part of the reason why I did say that is because we have the Fool card after it, which is taking a leap of faith. This is making a decision to surrender, to trust the path that is opening for you. There's also even this commitment, because they are in the process of, kind of free falling there, and even if they wanted to change their mind, like they couldn't. Like they've already committed to this fall. Even, like their face, like there's this feeling of trusting that you will be caught, and you always will be, always. The net will appear even if you don't see it at first. That's kind of like what the Fool card is. It really is like, again, taking the risk, taking the leap without having any evidence that the path is going to open up for you, that the net is going to catch you. But I mean, it has every single time. Right here you are. And then we have the Sun card at the bottom of the deck, which is like everything good. Joy, bliss, even their body language, it's, being filled with joy and bliss. And just, the sun represents rejuvenation. It's literal life force energy, right? Because, truly we wouldn't exist without our relation to the sun. And, the speed at which we go around it, and the rotation at which we go around, right? Like, so this really is about even being open to it. Look at the similarities between these two cards. Like their arms are spread open in this, receiving, accepting thing. And then we have the Moon card after that, which to me, it feels like, deal with all of this stuff first. Like what's coming next isn't the point of this, and it's probably would be part of the problem, is trying to intuit or trying to think of how it's going to play out, because of course, like, you would want to know, right? I don't know if that's like an earth sign thing. I don't think so, but like even allowing yourself to be in your emotions. This person is fully underwater. The Moon card is Cancer, which is the opposite sign of Capricorn, right? So it could even just be drawing on the emotional, the vulnerability of Cancer. And not to mention, like I said, we have that full moon in Scorpio coming up. So again, there could be something around that, some shift happening around that. The Moon card also talks about like all is yet to be revealed, and it will be revealed in due time. But it's like, it's not the thing that should be focused on. I love that. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.